Well, hello there. I bet that you didn't know that you can change the colour of your Dualsense light bar, or that you can use a Dualsense on a PC. This is 21 Dualsense secrets. These videos are all about you, so you should subscribe to keep the stream of PS5 knowledge coming. Let's get into it. 21 DS4 Windows. To change the colour of your Dualsense light bar, there's a nifty program we can use on PC called DS4 Windows. Simply plug in your controller, then open DS4 Windows, go to Profiles, new light bar, and from here you can change the colour of the light bar using these sliders. 20. PC Compatibility. There's a lot more we can do with the Dualsense on a PC though. Using DS4 Windows we can play PC games or emulated games using the Dualsense. You'll need to map the buttons to certain keys and then map the same keys in-game to be able to use the controller. 19. Paddles. I bet you didn't know that Dualsense controllers are moddable. You can buy mod kits from companies like Extreme Rate, who sponsored this video, to give you up to 4 extra buttons, which will give you a competitive edge in games. You'll need to take your thumbs off the thumbsticks, far less for things like jumping or using abilities. If you want to get one of these controllers and don't want to mod it yourself, I actually sell these on my Etsy store. 18. Hard reset. Having trouble with your Dualsense? This one-size-fits-all solution will probably fix it. With the controller turned on, flip your Dualsense over and press this small button on the back for 3 seconds and this will factory reset your controller. 17. Controller charge indicator. The Dualsense light bar will flash orange when it's charging, but I bet you didn't know that as the charge increases, the rate of flashing actually slows down before it stops completely once the controller is fully charged. 16. PvP settings. So there are some subtle ways that you can actually optimize your controller for competitive PvP by turning off the immersion features like vibration and the adaptive triggers, which can make it harder to press the triggers than the vibration that can throw off your aim. With these controls optimized, you should have an easier time aiming, which could make all the difference in competitive PvP. 15. The mute button. I bet you didn't know there's a way that you can mute all sounds from the PS5, which is built into the Dualsense. So by pressing and holding down the mute button instead of tapping it, it will mute all sound from the PlayStation and flash orange while this feature is active.
Nice.
14. Speech to text. Frustrated by the slow, clunky typing of the Dualsense? On certain apps such as YouTube and the PlayStation Store, they will have this mic button which you can press and actually talk into the mic, and the PS5 will convert your speech to text and you no longer have to type.
This right here is my favorite thing ever.
13. Shortcuts. There are several ways you might not know that you can actually navigate the PlayStation faster. For example, on the homepage, if you press the triangle button from any position, you'll be taken instantly to the search icon where you can quickly get to profile and settings. From the games tab, if you press R1, you'll immediately swap to the media tab, and L1 to immediately swap back to the game tags, to the games tab, and you can hold down the PS button to take you back to the home screen from any position. 12. Quick turn off. I bet you didn't know there's actually a way you can turn off the Dualsense controller other than from the Bluetooth menu. So what you can do is hold down the PS button for 10 seconds and your Dualsense will turn off. If your Dualsense is connected to anything other than a PlayStation 5, like a phone or a PC, this is the only way that you can turn it off. 11. Pair mode. So it's no secret that the Dualsense wireless module is Bluetooth, and that's how it pairs to other devices. But I bet you didn't know that you can actually put the controller into pair mode by pressing and holding down the create button and the PS button simultaneously for 3 seconds while the controller is turned off, and it will appear in the accessories menu as pairable in the PlayStation or any other device. 10. Remote play. You might not know that you can wirelessly connect your PS5 from afar and play games on it over the internet using a phone or a PC, but the controls on these devices are really hard to use. You can, however, connect your Dualsense to your phone using the previous tip and play as normal using your controller. 9. Typing. As I mentioned before, typing can be a slow and annoying process on the PS5, especially if you have to type something long, but there are better ways that you can type. One way is you can use the touchpad as some sort of pseudo mouse and type with your thumb. Another way is you can press L3 and R3 together to enable the gyroscope and tilt the controller to move the cursor. 8. Extends the controller battery. Having trouble keeping your battery going long enough to fill your daily murder and mayhem quota? Well, don't fret my friends, if your battery is dying too quickly and you really hate playing with a cable plugged in, there are a few ways you can extend your battery life. Go to Settings, Accessories, Controller, and turn down or even turn off the vibration intensity and the trigger effects and the light bar brightness, all of which will extend the battery life of your controller. You should note that all rechargeable batteries do have a lifespan and they will eventually die, and if need be, you can actually replace the battery in your Dualsense controller. 7. Zoom. Struggling to see that camper all the way in the back of the game? Well, I bet you didn't know the PS5 has a built-in zoom function.
It's time to stop!
that you can use by pressing the PS button and the square button at the same time. To enable this function, go to Settings, Accessibility, and Zoom, and turn on the zoom. And then from any game or position in the menu, you can use that shortcut and zoom into anything on screen. 6. Controller remapping. If you don't like what buttons do what, you can actually change what each button does on the console itself. You could, for example, swap the X and circle buttons, or swap the left and right sticks, for example. If you want to create a custom button map, you can go to Settings, Accessibilities, Controller, Custom Button Assignments, and from there you can create your own custom button map. 5. Rear contacts. You ever noticed these 4 gold contacts on the back of the controller and wondered what they're for? Well, these are actually for charging. Some charging docks, like this one for example, will charge the controller via these contacts rather than the front-facing USB-C port. And it's actually better to charge from these rear contacts rather than the front-facing USB port. And this is because taking the cable in and out of the USB port so many times over years will slowly degrade and damage the port. However, these contacts have no such friction. 4. Customization. I bet you didn't know that there are loads of cosmetic products that you can get for your Dualsense controller, like decals, replacement faceplates. It's so easy to customize your Dualsense faceplate, you can actually remove it only with your hands, and even this LED backlit button replacement kit. For the LED mod kit or anything like that, it's a little more invasive with a lot more disassembly involved. 3. PlayStation texture. I bet you didn't know that the texture of the controller has tiny little X, square, circle, triangle icons on it, like this. This neat little function isn't just for aesthetics though, this actually helps you hold on to the controller better because it's a form of grip. 2. Several mics. It's no secret that Dualsense has a built-in microphone, but I bet you didn't know the controller has 2 mics built into it, one on the top and one on the bottom, and this is to better allow it to capture your voice. Just want to put this out there that although the microphones on the controller do work perfectly fine, you absolutely should still use a headset. 1, because there'll be less background noise and less feedback from your TV for your surrounding friends, and 2, the quality of a headset mic will be so much better. 1. Stick drift. Depending on when you got your PS5 will depend on what model of Dualsense you have, and yes, there are different models of Dualsense, and no, that's not the secret. Many players have suffered from stick drift in the first year of the PS5. On average, it took just 7 months for the thumbsticks to degrade until Sony released these new colourful versions of the Dualsense. They quietly improved the springs and the thumbsticks by increasing the thickness of the spring from 0.25mm to 0.3mm and swapping out some of the various pieces of plastic in the thumbstick assembly. Out of these 21 secrets, how many did you know? Let me know down in the comments. If you gain value from this video, help others find it by dropping a like, and of course subscribe for more great content like this. If you haven't already, check out my 40 PS5 secrets video where I show you that the light bar of PS5 can turn red and how to access the PS5 secret browser. I will see you over there.